First part's going to be just taking out the interior, so not nothing too exciting about that. The seats have 4 bolts that bolt down into the car, so won't really take a video of that. We'll just get that done. All right, that's one seat out. So bolt here, hex socket there, hex there, and then you gotta take the seat belt off, and don't forget to unplug your warning lights. And I added this pad to help dampen and look like I was sitting on something. So I hope that's popped back up. But other than that, I took the harness off. I have a harness bar. Came from the original owner with this. I think the harnesses are expired. Haven't really used it. Might put the bar back on. Might not put the harness on, just to see how it goes. So I'm gonna do the same with the other side, and then we're gonna take all the consoles off as well. Because the end result is we're gonna end up changing the shift cables, so I gotta get access to all that. So might as well just strip it all out now. So these are Technocraft seats. So they're carbon fiber front and then Kevlar back. So quite easy to take out, lightweight. So got them out pretty easy. So yeah, I'm gonna continue on doing the other side. All right, both seats are out. The only one that's tricky is really this one, because the passenger side doesn't go back and forth. It's a fixed one. So this one is like right under the lip. So I had to use a little stubby with the 6mm, kind of go at it from here. Imagine the seat being here and just slowly undoing it here. But got a lot of trash down here. So yeah, next step is gonna remove the center console, and then there's a little, I don't know what you call this, a rear center console. I end up finding a carbon fiber one to match. Take the harness bar out, and then we're gonna start looking into the instructions for the BOE and see what we got to do next. So let's go to that. All right, this is another day. I got the center console out here. So there's 2 screws that go in from each side, and then that kind of lifts up. But before that, you got to take the back console out, which has a 1 screw going on here, and there's one of the harnesses that connects to, I believe, the hazard light, and then another harness that connects to the unlock button. And so I got some extra wires here that I'm gonna hide a little better this time, but got some wires for the oil pressure and temperature gauge. And so I believe the next step is to kind of take apart this rear. I'm gonna remove the harness bar. So, and then we're gonna follow the BOE instruction from here on out. But I gotta remove the speakers anyway, so I'm just gonna go ahead and start taking this back panel off. And also, this back part, there's one of these plastic screws been kind of loose, so I'm gonna maybe just take this whole part out and see what's going on behind here. All right, we'll get working on that. All right, pop the harness bar off, 17mm. Then I had these plastic screws. And then next thing is I popped off the grill. And now I'm gonna work these 4 corners for each speaker off. And I don't believe there's anything else, so I'm gonna start reading the instructions. I believe we gotta start removing some of these upper ones for the roll bar cover. All right, let's keep on doing that. All right, I got the speaker removed. Interestingly enough, one of the I think the negative speaker wire wasn't connected on that side, so I wonder maybe that's why it sounds so bad. So after that, I just started pulling and working itself out. So I think this all just comes out in one panel. You end up kind of moving it in so you can make it past this lip. And just to be, I think this has probably a harness behind here, so I make sure I'm not going to pull that too much. In fact, I can feel it right now. So what I did is I just kind of worked itself out from the side here like that, and then worked up here. And I might need 2 hands for this, but yeah, this whole panel is kind of flimsy and coming out in one piece. So wish they made something. I've seen a car that had this whole panel done in carbon fiber, but I don't think they sell anything readily available like that. But yeah, let me get this part out. All right, so the next step, there's a panel that goes under here. Actually looks like that right there. It's kind of made out of foam, but there were 4 of these plastic screws. Strangely enough, 3 of mine already, the screw head already fell out, so it's just 1 for me. And then there's two right here. This is a Clam, the lid hinge support. So the note says we'll reuse this. And then it describes 2 other 10mm bolts, so I have not seen that. Maybe talking about this one, or maybe there's another one hidden in here somewhere. I might take the foam out of here, see if it's actually under there. But yeah, let me get working on those. All right, update. Believe what they're describing is that bolt right there. 2 10mm on each side, and they say it's not going to be reused. So there is a couple bolts up here. I think I didn't need to take apart. I also went ahead and took off these soft top striker plates. Again, don't really know if I needed to do that. So next step, I'm gonna remove those 2 bolts, and then I assume I'm gonna remove the hinge lid there, because it told me to take off these 2 there and then 2 there. I'm gonna need 2 hands for this. All right, got the lid off. A little bit tricky. Basically on the inside there were these washers that were glued, kind of felt pads on them, so they were preventing this bracket from getting pulled out. And then so this goes on the inside in the engine bay, and then I basically had to remove these and then go in the engine bay and then wedge this bracket off, and then the whole thing slipped out. So I'm going to pre-assemble it back so I don't forget where they are. And then right now I got it leaned up against a piece of foam so we don't scratch the lid. They say no need to remove these. The hardware on this part, and I believe this is where we'll also have another piece of hardware in the kit that kind of bolts this so this doesn't flex too much. All right, I'm gonna pre-assemble those nuts back and get to doing the next thing. Did an extra step on both sides. This is because I have side scoops and not just the normal Exige. I think this is more of a Exige, or sorry, not like a normal Elise. I think this is more an Exige style, but there's 3 bolts, and then that one kind of wedges in right there through a clip. So this is a part where we're gonna have to do some modification, because as you can see, these 2 bolts go up with the clam, and then one gets wedged down there. So I'll either maybe not run this bolt, or maybe do a quick disconnect of some sort. But that's something we got to figure out in the future. So for right now, we'll just remove it and put it off to the side. Next step I'm doing, I'm going to do everything up here before I lift the car up to do the underneath. But pulled out the boot carpet. So going to remove the battery. So yeah, it looks like I do have the correct battery for the new bracket. I have a cutoff switch, which I don't know if I can transfer this to the new one, because the new battery would be sitting in that area. And then over here, there's a couple bolts that I need to remove. I think 4 total. So I see 2 on this side, and maybe this counts as 1. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove that, and then the battery's gonna get removed as well. So I'll go ahead and work on that. I got my battery out, and I actually have a smaller battery. I think this is like a 520 instead of the 625. So looks like it's gonna have to have an adapter or get a new battery. So this battery's been working good. I'll just see if they make an adapter or if I can make something. But in the Kinetic kit, I think I just kind of wedged it under some foam here to make it work, and I think I foamed up too. So between these 2 foams, I was able to make that work. I'll see what I want to do with this a little later. Gonna come to a stopping point for today. So there was one more bolt under the battery tray there. Went ahead and disconnect where the tail light harness comes in. There's also one on this side, right there. Can you see it? I believe after the hinge is installed, we'll want to kind of fish everything through there to get more slack. Or I guess find a way to make sure that doesn't get pinched. So the 2 cables on this side, the battery cable. Now this of course is going to get reinstalled over there, so we'll have to snake that all out. And then there's a tail light harness. So this is the one where I believe we'll probably bring in through that side to give more slack, or do something about that one. Sorry, I think that may be for the side marker. So that one's probably not a big deal to keep right there. But this one we'll have to make space for. So I believe there's instructions on how to depin this, so we don't have to, the hole I think that it comes through is not quite big enough. So I'll make sure I'll document which pin goes in where, and then depin that. But I believe the remaining bolts are from underneath the car. You got to take the wheel well off and get to those. So I'm going to work on that. And luckily I have a lift, so I can lift it up a little high and work on that. All right, decided to work a little bit more. So got the one wheel up. I have a pretty stout like a jack that I put on right where the frame rail is. I also got a backup in case that falls. And what I realized is that I think I forgot to access a couple more holes on this one. I'll be replacing this one, so gonna take this one off because the new one is a little bit more bigger. So next step is to remove the wheel well liner. So a couple of screws. I think y'all seen this done before. I also had to remove the diffuser and the under panel. So that all comes off. I'm gonna do one side at a time, just because I don't feel like having the whole rear end with the setup I have here. But I've shaked it and it's stable. I just, I only have one of these, and so I'm gonna do one side at a time. All right, I'm on to the other side. So basically the 2 that you have to remove are these 2 bolts right here. So as I suspected, I just took this off. The hardware for the side scoop kind of ties these 2 together. So it won't work the way it is. So I either need to just run it off of this bolt and have it attached to the top, or I don't believe these bolts get put back. So we might be able to do something with just kind of wedging that bracket in between there so that it goes with the top. The other one I don't believe has any issue, so we might find a way to have these 2. The bottom bolt, of course, for the side scoop gets wedged under here, so it won't work as is. We'll find a way to figure that one out a little later. But so I'm gonna remove these two 10mm bolts, and then I think other than a few knickknacks and wires that we gotta fish through, we're almost ready to pull the clam off. I will need help for that one, so we'll see that. We'll see where I can get help with that one. All right, I actually didn't need to depin this. It just kind of came through, pushed it through the hole there, and then pushed the battery through the hole. Disconnected the washer bottle from the bracket there. Right now, I mean, the clam's moving. I do believe I forgot one thing, is to take off the fuel line cup there. So, I think I'm a step away from removing the clam. So I'm gonna go and put this wheel back on, lower the car so I can have a place to work, and then might be getting pretty close to pulling the clam. I want to show the fuel door, of course. So 2 bolts there to remove the rear panel, sitting right there, and then 6 hexes to remove this fuel door. So I believe, oh, and then disconnect the third brake light. I actually don't know what to do with that one, otherwise I'll have to reconnect it all the time, or maybe since it goes with the top, maybe extend that wire. So we'll see if we want to run that or not. So it looks like everything's kind of ready. So I'm gonna call a friend and see if we can help take this clam off, and then also figure out where to put it. So make sure everything is not going to get scratched up. So let me do that, and I'll make sure I'll video that.
Be able to clamshell this thing now.
All right. Okay. Ready?
1, 2, 3.
All right. Stay right here, and then you go first.
Yeah, but you need to give me more. I can't reach over the hood that far.
Okay. Okay. Make it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, now I can back up.
Okay.
I can back into this
I'm
spot.
clear.
And then don't hit the garage door. Alright.
It's kind of back heavy.
Yeah, it is. That's why I've kind of got my hand behind the blinker. Alright. Oh, okay. Going like this. Then I'll back.
All right, that was a success. So everything went well. Looks like I have a lot of cleaning to do, just like a lot of dirt. I think this was held down. Radium Engineering makes the shim stack kit. I might do that. Or you can tape this down. And then there's just a lot of cleaning to do back here, a lot of tidying up. Got to make sure I clean it correctly. Yeah, some dirt and stuff. So I'm gonna spend a little bit of time cleaning all that up before I reinstall everything. And then let's go look at the clam. So I got the clam sitting over here. The edges I was afraid, so I put down these actually were the foam pieces behind the speaker, so I just put them down in the corner. I didn't want a sharp corner. But then the front just kind of has a little bit better support. So anyways, got everything accomplished. So I'm gonna end this part with the clam removal, and the next part I'm gonna work on cleaning up a bit and slowly installing. There's a lot of knickknacks to do before I think the clam kit can go back on. All right, thank you guys for viewing, and follow the next video coming out, please. Thank you. Bye.